Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker, and live on Skype, second week in a row, we got Brandon.
Yep, I was so good, I'm back.
Yeah, either that or Josh is unavailable, one or the other.
Yep.
So later on in the episode this week, we have an interview with an IPW star that Grady got at Armageddon, talking about myself in the third person here. So we've only got time to talk about Raw, but we'll crack on into that. Opens up with the Wyatt family and more singing.
Yeah, I think Bray Wyatt still trying to get into John Cena's head. I think they've already gotten into his head, and I think John Cena, he's going to have to realize that it's going to be harder to overcome Bray Wyatt than it will be that he has overcome in the past.
It was definitely a perfect match, the Wyatt family and the London crowd.
Yeah, the London crowd really loved Bray Wyatt, and I like Bray Wyatt, so perfect match between me and the London crowd, too.
But I'm pretty sure John Cena got the upper hand at the end of this with an AA.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see John Cena getting the upper hand over Bray Wyatt too often in this feud, depending on how long this feud goes. I'm not sure who's going to be winning at Payback, the upcoming pay-per-view, but this feud hasn't disappointed me so far.
Yeah, I don't think the point with Bray is that he can take as much damage, he'll keep coming back and still be in your head type thing.
Yeah, even if Bray Wyatt loses like he lost WrestleMania, he came right back with John Cena winning at Extreme Rules.
So we'll jump into the first match, Cesaro versus Sheamus.
Yeah, I definitely see a U.S. title shot in Cesaro's future.
Yeah, even though Heyman had to help him, he still technically beat the champion.
Yeah, Cesaro's been very impressive, and I think Sheamus, he may have his hands full with Cesaro and Paul Heyman.
It's a formidable team.
Yeah, Paul Heyman led Brock Lesnar to defeating The Undertaker's streak, as he had let us know over the past few weeks.
You don't need to tell me.
And it's very possible we could see Paul Heyman lead Cesaro to a U.S. title reign.
Yeah, I could see it happening. But to see who's the number one contender for the Intercontinental title, we got to beat the clock challenge. Who doesn't love a beat the clock challenge?
I like beat the clock challenges.
I like beat the clock challenges with more than 3 matches.
Yeah.
Either way, we got Big E versus Ryback in the first match.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty nice match to see between two different powerhouses. Even though they haven't been on the top of their game over the past few months, Big E losing his title and Ryback losing a ton of matches with Curtis Axel. I thought it was still a nice match.
Yeah, I guess you could definitely say these two powerhouses are in ruts right now, but hey, either way, they put on a good show, and Big E picked up the win 5 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yep. I really thought Big E needed the win here to get momentum back on his side. Rusev, he looks like he's primed to be facing Rusev in the future, so if Big E wants to have any chance against Rusev, Big E needs to start picking up wins, and I think this could be the start of that win streak.
Okay. Well, up next we got, we didn't really get the match. I think it was meant to be R-Truth and Naomi versus Fandango and Layla. But we got Summer Rae.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice surprise to see Summer Rae back, coming from the Marine filming, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And Summer Rae, she's not too happy with what's going on over the past number of weeks with Fandango and Layla. If I was Fandango, I would have kept Summer Rae because she's pretty hot. But I think Summer Rae, she's going to want a piece of Layla in the future.
And Summer gets her own music now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she had it over the past few months, but I like her music, and I think that Summer Rae, she's going to start picking up wins, and I think she could end up being a challenger for Paige in her title.
Okay. Well, up next, we thought we were getting Bryan. We hear Bryan's music. It's Bryan! But it's only Stephanie.
I didn't think there was any chance it was Daniel Bryan. As soon as I heard that music, I knew it was going to be either Stephanie McMahon, Kane, or Triple H, and it ends up being Stephanie.
And she just delays it even more. Let's not make a decision tonight. Let's make it next week.
Yeah, I think Stephanie McMahon actually wants Daniel Bryan to come back, because I think she wants Kane to take the title off of him. I think that would hurt Daniel Bryan more, having Kane defeating him for the title rather than just giving it to Kane.
Yeah, it makes sense, but they just keep putting the decision off, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah, I don't know if they don't know how long he's going to be out, or if they don't know what they're doing. But I hope Daniel Bryan keeps his title. He deserves it. He earned it. And I think at Daniel Bryan, he could end up being a great WWE champion.
Okay, well, what do we get? Up next, the newly face-turned Union Jacks took on Rusev, or Heath of them.
I don't think this little face turn will last long. I think Rusev, he wants Russia to be on top. And as soon as he saw the Union Jacks come out, I think Rusev, he knew that he wanted to take the Union Jacks or 3MB down. And Rusev did just that. I think he made a statement taking down 3 guys instead of just 1.
Okay, well, up next we got another Beat the Clock. This time it was Alberto and RVD.
Yeah, I really think RVD and Del Rio have secretly been putting on good matches over the past number of weeks and months.
Yeah. RVD came out, rolled up Alberto with 47 seconds to spare.
Yeah, RVD, he caught a big break, because if he didn't get that pin, I think Del Rio could have very well held RVD off or even took the pin for himself.
Okay, well, we'll jump into our classic entrance theme of the week. It's TNA's Beer Money. Hey, you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. So I promised you a little earlier that you'd get a little addition to this week's show. And so this last weekend I was up in Armageddon. It's Clauden's Event Centre in Hamilton here. And I got to watch 6 different sessions of Impact Pro Wrestling. It was a great experience, been there the last few years. And after the show, I actually got to jump the guardrail, head back to the locker room, and interview one of the stars of Impact Pro Wrestling, James Shaw. So I'm going to play a little bit of it on this week's show, a little bit on not next week's, the week after's show, and it's all going to be on our SoundCloud account. So here's the first part of the interview. Well, I'm here with James Shaw from IPW. So how long have you been wrestling?
Yeah, g'day. So I've been wrestling for about 7 years now.
Okay.
I haven't had a break, so my body's a bit bunged up. But yeah, 7 years. 2007 I started in July.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a long time, a very long time.
Your character's quite, eccentric. I think that's a nice way to put it. Do you draw experience from your life?
Yeah, well, basically I tell everyone it's just the real me, but just a little bit turned up. I am pretty much an idiot in real life. I'm a bloody big plonker, really. So yeah, that's why it's so natural for me, is I can just go out there and do silly stuff, and people seem to like it for some reason. So I've just roll with it, I guess. But yeah, it's one of the easiest things I've done in wrestling. I mean, I've done a Russian gimmick before, and that was bloody hard because I'm not Russian. And then I kind of did the gimmick where I had the voices in my head, and that took a bit of effort because it was like I really didn't have voices in my head. And then one day I was just like, you know what? I'll just be myself, and I'll just be silly. And if they like it, they like it. They don't, they don't. And yeah, and to my surprise, they caught on. So yeah.
And you get to slap on some face paint, throw some lollies.
Yeah. The face paint's not that expensive, but the lollies, because that comes out of my own wallet. So it's just every morning you got a show. It's like nip off to the supermarket, buy a big bag, and so that becomes a bit of a stressful thing sometimes. Because I know if I don't throw the lollies, they're not going to cheer me. That's basically the truth.
I'm sure they'll do.
But yeah, so that's always a bit of fun. Coming out looking like a bloody Indian warrior, and then heffing gum at kids and hoping not to hurt them. So yeah.
I'm pretty sure Aunt Lolly Scramble's like outlawed here.
yeah. Well, I could be putting anything in those lollies, but yeah. So they've got a lot of trust in me. But yeah, I know one day I'm gonna bloody have an angry parent come back and you hit my son in the face with a piece of gum. Apologise. Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah.
So I believe you were here before the temporary shutdown.
Yeah. That was a bit of an issue for us because, well, IPW is based in Auckland, as everyone knows, and so when IPW declared they were shutting down, I was like, I've got nowhere to wrestle. Now I had Wellington, but I had to do 12-hour bus rides every bloody day. So every weekend. So it was like, oh man, I've got nowhere to wrestle now. So when we did that final stint here and then Wellington, I was considering moving down to Wellington because that's really the only left. It was where they had wrestling. They had nothing in Auckland, and I mean, so that was my option. But luckily I waited a bit, and then we had Steve Wrigley, the comedian. He helped us board. He invested a bit of money and managed to get us back up, which was bloody cool for all of us. I mean, we all love wrestling, so when we heard the news that IPW was coming back, it's not shutting down, we were over the moon, man. We were so happy. But yeah, dealing with that temporary shutdown, it was a bit of a spirit breaker, to be honest. I mean, because I'd won the cup, and I was like, man, this is going to be the last time. I mean, it was an honour to be the last Armageddon Cup champion, what it seemed at the time. I was still sad because, I mean, there's guys like Mason Daniels and Johnny Idol and stuff, all these like up-and-comers who rightfully so deserve it more than me. And so the fact that they didn't have the chance to get it another time, that was a bit sad. I mean, everyone wants it in the end. It's such a cool thing to have that I won the Armageddon Cup tournament. Like, that's such a cool thing to say. When people ask you, what do you do in the weekend? I beat 4 other men to win a cup, and here it is. So it was pretty cool doing it. But so when we came back, it was awesome. More chance for everyone else to.
You've also, I believe, tagged with Johnny Idol.
Yeah, that was very fun. That's basically where I started the silliness, because I knew Johnny for about a year before we decided, because I joined Project Mayhem, and that was just on the spot thing that night. The bookers were like, oh, okay, well, what can we do? We'll make him join Project Mayhem, and then I noticed Idol was there, and we were becoming good mates, and we were like, oh, we should tag, and then every day it was like messages was like, we should do something stupid, like you do a suplex and like RKO your foot, and we were like, oh, that's great, it's something stupid, and it just got to the point where we were trying to make each other laugh. So yeah, that was where I picked up my first title, actually, the NZWPW tag team titles with them, and we had that for about 7 months. So yeah, that was a huge honour. I mean, winning your first, I didn't really win it, I just got given it really, but having your first title, that was a huge, so thanks to him really. I mean, I picked up that tag title, and that kind of started my winning streak with titles a bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
I think, thinking back to me a couple of years ago, I think it was Armageddon 2012 here, I quite fondly remember you coming out, your purple gear, your pink cardi, your glasses on, you got the title, and your sister pushing the table.
Pushing the trolley, yeah. That was a very different part of time in my life. Yeah, that was pretty much in between the Idol, tagging with Idol and stuff, and I pretty much had like funnest times of my lives doing that. I mean, because where else can you do that nonsense? And yeah, and it just got to the point where you're trying to make others laugh, and you're just trying to make the boys in the back laugh, and that's making everyone else in the crowd laugh, and you can make yourself look like an idiot, and it's bloody fantastic, man. And I enjoyed doing it, hinting at the fact that I was gay and stuff like that, and it just got so over, and yeah, it was so awesome. It was bloody great, to be honest, simply put.
Yeah, and it pulled Olivia into it as well.
Yeah, that was it was actually 2012 here at Armageddon, where she made her debut. So she's been wrestling for about 2 years now, and she couldn't make it this weekend, unfortunately. But she's another talent, man. She's picked it up faster than I ever have. I mean, she's just amazing at what she does. I mean, it took me a good 5 years to start even getting grips of wrestling. It took her about a month or something, and she was saying things, and I was like, oh, that's right. Oh, that's amazing. But yeah, she debuted here. It was her and I versus Liam Fury and Evie, and that was a real fun match, man. I was just so proud of her. I mean, because she got in that ring and she debuted for something that I thought never would happen. I mean, my sister's in the ring with me tagging, and when I started wrestling, she didn't even bloody watch it, and so I guess I've dragged her into it now. She's part of wrestling now. That's her life. So yeah, she's full of talent, man. She'll be IPW Women's Champion. Good 2 years, a year. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, who knows, man? She's got the talent for it. Yeah.
And she got to be a cat.
Yeah, she that's another case where the gimmick's not far from the real person. we at one point in our life we had about 3 cats, I think, in our house, and yeah, she just loves them. And her first obsession was cows. I don't know where that. Yeah. So, but yeah, she's playing that real way. It gives her something to work off, man, and she's doing all the cat clawing and the scratching in the ring and stuff. She's really found her niche now. She's gotten to that point where she doesn't even need me now. She can just go off and do her own thing, and you watch it and you're like, oh, that's good, man. So yeah.
Like I said, I think it was last year, up here, Armageddon again, her moonsault.
Yeah, her moonsault, man. Bloody hell.
It's one of the most impressive ones I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I do the moonsault, but it's real cruddy. It goes off to the side. But when Olivia does that moonsault, man, holy crap. It's the thing is, I've never seen her do a moonsault. When we were young, we had a tramp. She never did backflips. I don't know where she learnt that. She just picked it out of nowhere, yeah. So she was doing that. I think she's won a few matches with that too. She became number 1 contender from that move. I mean, she gets so much height and so much bloody torque, turn. It's so good, man. It's so cool to watch.
Do we see your title future?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I'm pretty much on a run at the moment. I think I've only lost twice this year. I mean, I can see it. It's gonna happen. If you're a smart man, you put money on it, and that's not arrogance. That's just because I know I've been working my ass off. I've got people like Travis Banks helping me out. I've got people like Johnny Idol. I've got people like Liam. They're all helping me out. Aaron Henry, Jacob Cross. They're a bit iffy because they're investment, but yeah, from time to time I'll get a message from them going blah 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 because I think deep down they want to see me as champ, but Daniel Brunel's got a bloody Vince on them, and I mean they're pretty vicious guys. But yeah, if you're a smart man, put money on it, man, because that's all I've been thinking about this year. It's all I think about. I'm training bloody 5 times a week for it. It's all I'm thinking about. Yeah. So yeah, put money on it.
Okay.
And give me the money afterwards.
Yeah. So we've seen Travis go over to America.
Yeah.
Is that a goal?
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, I'm going overseas in June. Hold on, wait. June. Next month on the 14th for my first time wrestling over there for PWA, Pro Wrestling Australia. Right. Am I able to just say where they can look me up? Yeah, sweet. Just look me up on Facebook, James Shaw IPW. I'm on Twitter as well, James Shaw IPW. If you're in the area, Auckland, come to a live event, man. Our next one's July 5th. It's going to be a doozy at the Linfield Recreational Centre. And don't forget to look these guys up, man. It's awesome. They've given me a chance. So, yeah, I'll be putting this on my page, and yeah, hopefully you'll be listening over and over again because of my sweet voice. But yeah.
You booked yet for that show?
Yeah. I think, it's not official, but I want to try and get the Ligers because they were hurting my mate Johnny Idol at the last show. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let's bring Project Mayhem back for one night.
Okay, so that was the first part. Second part will be on not next week, but the week after's show. If you want the full interview now, you can just go to our Facebook page or our Twitter page. I'm pretty sure James's Facebook and Twitter page will be promoting it as well. It'll be up there on SoundCloud, and you can just download it from there. So now we're going to go into our current entrance theme of the week. It's Bo Dallas. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Brandon. We'll jump into where we left off. We got a quite impressive Seth Rollins versus Batista match.
Yeah, I really like the match Batista's been putting on guys like Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins. And I think Seth Rollins, he showed that he's just not a guy that is led by Roman Reigns. I think that he could very well stick his own, and Roman Reigns isn't the only guy in there that can make a singles impact.
Yeah, talking about the singles, we got a special guest ring announcer, timekeeper, and commentators.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting part of the segment.
Yeah, I do think the ending just continues the feud. That's pretty much all it does.
Yeah, I think we can see these guys brawling for years at the pace that they're going. Even after Evolution, they lost, they came right back at the Shield wanting more.
Yeah. Up next, Alicia Fox took down the Divas champ.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked. I expected Alicia to actually lose this match and throw another tirade, but she ended up picking up the win and went on another happy tirade, which we haven't seen from Alicia.
Yeah, Grady isn't happy.
Yeah.
But I guess they've all got to have their first loss sooner or later.
Yeah, I think this was beginning of something more between Alicia and Paige, maybe a potential match at Payback.
Fair enough. Up next, we got the final Beat the Clock challenge. Mark Henry, Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler ran just short of time.
Yeah, I was really hoping Dolph Ziggler would pick up the win. He came this close to picking up the win. Rather than seeing RVD take on Bad News Barrett, I would have very well loved to see Ziggler take on Bad News Barrett instead, but that ultimately wasn't the case.
Yeah, and then we had some bad news for RVD.
Yeah, I don't think RVD was expecting that, and I wasn't even expecting it either. I think Bad News Barrett, he will end up picking up the win against RVD, because I see RVD as a good competitor, but he's not as good as he was.
Okay. Well, it's party time.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome hearing everybody chanting Adam Rose's theme song. Unlike Fandangoing, which only lasted a week, I see Adam Rose, what should we call it, like lemoning or something? I see this lasting a very long time, and I think Adam Rose has a lot of potential.
Yeah. Who is in the bunny suit?
Oh, that's a mystery.
I'm picking it as an angle. It might not be, but
I don't think so, but you could be right.
Either way, they're just pushing the feud between Rose and Swagger, basically.
Yeah, I think we're gonna end up seeing a match at Payback.
Yep. And the main event of the night, a match we've seen about 20,000 times at this point, John Cena, Luke Harper.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt, he continues to get into John Cena's head. That demonic voice of Luke Harper counting to 10 as Bray Wyatt sung over John Cena's fallen body. I think Bray Wyatt, he's continuing to try to get into John Cena's head. He may have already done it, but I think that Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, I think that they may not be needed for Bray Wyatt to pick up the win.
No, I think they've earned themselves a tag team title shot the way they're going.
Yeah.
Especially since Usos sort of got inserted into the feud. It just makes it perfect.
Yeah, we could definitely see a match with the Usos versus Rowan and Harper.
Which I think was on SmackDown, and the Usos handed Rowan and Harper their first loss on WWE TV.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised, but I don't think we're going to see that too often. I think that the Wyatt family, Rowan and Harper, have a very, very good chance of picking up the tag team titles in the near future.
Okay, I know you said you didn't want to, but we got to talk about it at least for a minute. Bo Dallas debuts on SmackDown.
Yeah, I wasn't too impressed, and I haven't been impressed by Bo Dallas at all. So I don't really know if we're going to go with Bo Dallas and his character.
Were you impressed by his first run?
No.
So is it the person or the character?
I'm pretty sure it's the person, because on NXT, his matches aren't exciting. He isn't a guy like Sami Zayn or Adrian Neville that's going to pull matches out of, moves out of his hat and amaze everyone.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen him in action just yet, so I'll put off my picking that until I've seen him in the ring. But hopefully it's just a little more exciting than his first run.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for, like, a John Cena run, just a little more exciting.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm pretty sure, it on Raw and SmackDown. So it's been great talking to you.
It's been great talking to you. I hope I'm back next week.
We'll see. We'll see the schedules. We'll see what overlaps, and we'll see what happens.
All right.
So I'm gonna do a quick roundup of Impact Pro Wrestling. So and NZWPW. They also had a show last weekend. So IPW, as I said, they were in Hamilton for Armageddon. We got to see Travis Banks, James Shaw, Adam Taylor, a bunch of other of the NZWPW guys who have come up. And it was a great 2 days worth of shows. Again, I've suggested this like 6 times on the show. If you get the chance to see your local wrestling in action, go. it is going to be one of the better experiences of your life. Just saying. There's nothing better. That you can watch it on TV as much as you want, but being there behind the rail, cheering guys on, it's just amazing. So I'll now run through the results quickly of the NZWPW show that happened this past weekend. It was actually Paul Sayers' retirement. Sadly, a young talent who had to retire early due to injury. We wish him the best of everything in his future endeavours. I sound really corny saying that. And he went out with a bang in a tables match, covered in blood. But so that's all we got time for this week. I'll see you next week. You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com. Don't forget to check it out for the full James Shaw interview, or wait till next week for the second part. See you next week.